Well, it's 1:45 here at the studios of Afenya Media in Sogankope. I welcome you to the bulletin. This is News Brief, and my name is Dumevi Kwame Apollo. Now, in today's edition, Ayariga condemns military brutalities in Boku. Professor Peter Korte of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research urges government to revisit the policy of fees absorption for the first-year students of the public universities. And then also the Lands Minister has announced the revocation of all mining licenses issued after election 2024. Government also cancels the closure of the fishing seasons that was initiated around the previous years. Anas also writes after the ruling on his defamation case against Kennedy Ohene Ajipong in the USA. Ghana also prepares to take over Chad coming Friday. These and others will be coming your way in this bulletin. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back where we bring you details of the news. Alright, welcome back, and let's go into the details of the news for the day. Now, just some few days ago, we heard of some brutalities in the Boku area. Now, Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Ayariga, has condemned the alleged military brutalities inflicted on civilians in Boku on the night of Tuesday, March 18, 2025. Describing the actions of the military as unacceptable, Ayariga expressed deep concern over reports that women, children, and elderly residents were subjected to various violence following the killing of a military officer by an unknown gunman. The MP, in a statement, vowed to demand full accountability from the military regarding their conduct. While acknowledging the tragic loss of the military officer, Ayariga insisted that retaliatory attacks such as ransacking homes, beating innocent victims, and holding the entire town to ransom were unjustifiable. The Boku Central MP called on the military leadership and local authorities to collaborate in investigating the killing of the soldier rather than resorting to what he described as indiscriminate aggression. He extended his condolences to the bereaved family of the fallen soldier and urged restraint on all sides. Looking ahead, Mr. Ayariga expressed hope that all parties involved in the Boku conflict will trust in the peace mediation efforts led by the Asantehene Otumfuo Nana Osei Tutu II. The MP reiterated his commitment to advocating for peace and ensuring that justice is served for the victims of both the initial attack and the military response. Now, on one of the policies of the new administration, the new NDC administration, for that matter, which has to do with the absorption of first year fees of students in the public universities. Professor Peter Cotte of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research has urged the government to revisit its decision on the bearing of fees of first-year students in public universities. He acknowledged that while the decision is in fulfillment of a campaign promise made by the present administration, it may not be the most pressing challenge facing Ghana's education. The government is allocating funds to fulfill the key campaign promise, but Professor Cotte says the decision requires a review. He questions the unavailability of funds in private universities, as well as saying some of the students there are also from less privileged homes. He also pointed to poor conditions in basic schools, citing instances of people sitting on blocks or lying on floors to write, adding that the country should rather invest in improving basic education infrastructure. The analyst called for a review of the free senior high school policy and other social interventions, stressing the need for sustainability and proper targeting. On school feeding, he noted that the 33% increase in funding is a good news, but called for decentralized procurement to eliminate partisanship, saying there is too much politicization in the program. He described disturbing reports of students being fed with little to no protein, urging reforms to ensure children receive proper nutrition. Professor Peter Cotte stressed the importance of leveraging ICT to enhance revenue mobilization and welcomed the reintroduction of road tolls, saying it is a laudable idea. And now, one of the most talked about issues after election 2024 had to do with the issuance of mining licenses across the country. And the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua, has revoked all licenses for small-scale mining issued after this period, which is December 7, 2024. Speaking in a joint press briefing on March 19, 2025, he justified the revocation of the licenses, stating that they were granted without due process. He added that the existing community mining schemes are to be disbanded and replaced with small-scale mining cooperatives that actually serve and benefit the communities with immediate effect. The move aligns with government's commitment to combat illegal mining, including stricter controls on excavator imports, a complete ban on the fabrication and importation of floating mining equipment, and other regulatory measures. And now also let's move away from fishing and bring you let's move away from mining and bring you this one from fishing. Another important change has previously been made. The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Emilia Arthur, has announced the cancellation of the closed fishing season for artisanal fishermen in the 2025 fishing season. However, industrial trawlers will still be required to observe the 2-month restriction. Speaking to fisherfolk in Tema, the minister emphasized that the decision aligns with government's commitment to sustaining the livelihoods of small-scale fishers while ensuring the long-term sustainability of the country's fish stocks. The closed fishing season was introduced by the previous administration as a conservation measure to allow fish stocks in Ghana's territorial waters to spawn and replenish. Scientists have backed the initiative, arguing that it is crucial in addressing overfishing and combating illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing practices, which have significantly reduced fish populations, particularly small pelagics. Ghana's fisheries industry provides direct and indirect employment to approximately 2 million people. Fish with some fish remaining a stable source of protein for many households and schools. Minister's announcement fulfills a campaign promise by President John Dramani Mahama to support fishermen while maintaining traditional conservation practices such as the customary ban on fishing on Tuesdays. To mitigate the potential impact of lifting the ban, local scientists have been tasked with identifying and designating key conservation areas in the Gulf of Guinea, including a buffer zone around Cape 3 Points where fishing activities will be restricted. And when we come back, we look into the issues regards with Anas Arimeyau Anas and Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and some other issues we will be dealing with. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more news for you.
From anywhere in the USA to anywhere in Ghana, we manage the entire shipping process, documentation, packing, shipping, warehousing, and final delivery. We will be with you all throughout. Simply place your order and relax. Your shipment is in safe hands. At Safred Global Services, we guarantee safe and timely delivery of consignments of any size. Trust us with your packages, crates, and containers for utmost satisfaction. Our customers always come first. We at Safred Global Services provide the safest, smoothest, and fastest yet affordable sea freight forwarding assistance between the USA and Ghana. Visit our Ghana warehouse at 127 Blue Street, Enya, off the Awoshi Ablekuma Pokwasi Highway in Accra. In the USA, our office is located at 2013 Fortune Drive, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky 40342. Call us at 502-353-4407 or 614-622-6977. Safred Global Services. Reliable, affordable, timely.
Welcome back, and now let's go into some other issues within the news bulletin. Ace investigative journalist Anas Arimeyau Anas has accused Justice Eric Baa of the Accra High Court of committing a serious injustice by denying him a fair trial. In a post on his Facebook page yesterday addressing his defamation suit against former Member of Parliament for Asin Central Kennedy Agyapong, Anas highlighted how the same defamation case which he won in the US was dismissed by Justice Eric Baa. Anas recounted how the judge, in addition to committing a supposed grave injustice against him, portrayed him as a criminal, despite Kennedy Agyapong openly admitting in court that he had no evidence to support his claims. He writes, and I quote, "Regrettably, the situation in Ghana was starkly different. In 2018, when I pursued a similar lawsuit there, justice eluded me. Despite Mr. Agyapong's own admission of lacking evidence to support his calumnious claims, Justice Eric Baa of the Accra High Court not only denied me justice, but also unjustly portrayed me, the civil plaintiff, as a criminal." Now, the journalist went on to draw comparisons between the legal systems of the US and that of Ghana, highlighting the stark contrast between the two, emphasizing the significant flaws in Ghana's legal system, which he argued requires urgent reforms. He said the ruling was later condemned by Supreme Court Justice Kulendi, who described it as a violent abuse of judicial authority. Such outcomes, he said, are a stark reminder of the systemic flaws within our Ghanaian judicial systems. And he said those flaws demand urgent reform. He also expressed his disappointment with the justice system in Ghana and called for urgent reforms, emphasizing the need for a robust democracy that serves and protects ordinary Ghanaians rather than just a select individuals within the political class. Anas's comments follow a ruling by an Essex County jury which awarded him $18 million in his defamation suit against Kennedy Agyapong. The former MP is reportedly seeking an appeal against the ruling. And now Friday is almost here, where the Black Stars of Ghana once again try their luck to see if they could qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Now in this, Black Stars head coach Otto Addo is hoping the team can gain confidence with their upcoming Cup matches. Ghana faced Chad and Madagascar in the first international window since the turn of the year, with the games key to the Black Stars World Cup chances. Addo's men faced lots of difficulties in the past year with just 2 wins from 10 games, while also failing to qualify for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations (AFCON). The former Borussia Dortmund man sees the 2 games as an important step in changing the mood around the team. Otto Addo believes that it is not just about World Cup or AFCON qualifiers, and that each and every game is important. He said he is looking forward to this match to also bring back a little bit of positivity and also confidence to the players. The Black Stars has had to host Chad at the Accra Sports Stadium Friday, March 21, before facing Madagascar 3 days later in Morocco. Ghana are joined top of the World Cup qualifying table with 9 points alongside Comoros. All for today in the news brief bulletin, but before I take a leave of you, let me go through some of the issues we looked at. Mahama Ayariga condemns military brutalities in Boku after the shooting of one soldier. Professor Peter Korte urges revisit of the policy of fees absorption for first-year students in the public universities. Lands Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua announces revocation of all mining licenses issued after election 2024. Government cancels closed fishing season for artisanal fishermen, and also Anas Arimaya Anas writes after ruling on his defamation case against Ken Ohene Agyapong. So that was all we brought to you today. hoping that tomorrow we shall come back your way. Don't forget that at 4 p.m. we do Afenya Jojo for you as news in Ebe, and also at 5 p.m. we bring you Faith Belt, where Pastor Clemens Avuchu does the work of the Lord for us. This is where I bring today's show also to an end. Let's meet tomorrow for more on News Brief. Don't forget to also visit our YouTube channel, Afenya Media. Subscribe and follow us, like our videos, and actually put your notification bell on. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.